Hola, it's Carpaccio with the Weekly Pele Report for Wednesday, March 16th of 2022. Amazingly unbelievable how low the river is. Where did all the water go? This is the driest I've really ever seen it in many, many years. Anyway. Yeah, Sun moving through Pisces, conjunct Neptune. It actually did drizzle, rained a little bit here, which was really amazing to have any rain during the dry season at all. So we had Sun conjuncting Neptune. You remember, talked about it last week. And it's moving on. It's actually moving on where? Into Aries, the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere. Okay, the autumnal equinox in the lower hemisphere, the southern hemisphere. And we want to be talking about that. It is a movement from Pisces into Aries, regardless of what hemisphere you are in. A big shift. I talked about the ending and the preparing for the new, the dreaming, the new. Well, now the sun is moving into Aries. And, of course, Jupiter will follow, but not until April 11th. And I would say from now until April 11th, Jupiter moving through Pisces is conjunct Neptune. It's not exact, but it's close enough. It's at 17 now. And it's moving all the way up on through. And so Jupiter conjunct Neptune in Pisces, I'm going to be talking about that. The other thing, of course, that's happening is the full moon. There's all kinds of stuff happening. I mean, it's outrageous. The full moon is at like 12 midnight, okay, between Thursday and Friday. So depending on where you are on planet Earth, you're going to have that full moon either on Thursday or Friday. But really the middle of the night, okay, late Thursday night in the United States and those in the Americas, let's just say that. And that is at, you won't believe, the Sabian symbol for 27 degrees, 40 minutes of Virgo, which is actually the 28th degree of Virgo. I will be reading you that. And then she moves on quickly into Libra and is in Libra, until Sunday, opposes Chiron, squares Pluto, all that happy stuff, and then goes into Scorpio on Sunday until Monday, Tuesday. By Tuesday, she goes into Sagittarius. But the other big thing that I want to be talking about is, Venus and Mars traveling together. We know they've been traveling together for some time now. And they will continue to, but Venus is taking the lead. She is moving ahead of Mars, and she will go into, Pisces first. But as of now, they're both approaching Saturn, okay, and squaring Uranus. So this week, they're going to be squaring Uranus, and then they're going to come up to conjoin with Saturn, yeah? So Saturday, Venus is an exact square with Uranus. And then on next Tuesday, Mars is in an exact square with Uranus. From Aquarius to Taurus. So I will be talking about that. That is what the mantra has to do with today a little bit also. And let me just find a nice little spot to sit down here and talk at the camera. Okay, so where to begin? Let's just begin with the full moon, because if you're out at night, you can see it getting bigger and brighter and more beautiful every moment. Ow! The goddess La Luna Jenna, so gorgeous, reminds us of the feminine, of the water, of Gaia, of nature, that rises and falls. That is rainy season, dry season, is hot season and cold season, is always changing. That is one aspect of the feminine, of the moon, and she is very powerful. Okay, in the sign of Virgo, the Earth the Virgin, who is independent, integrated, strong, the healer energy, in opposition to the Sun in Pisces. So this brings us to the Pisces-Virgo axis. I call it the axis of initiation. We're being initiated, and this full moon is initiating us out of our own bubble or our own little world or our own little self into relationship with another, personally, romantically, intimately, business-wise, socially, family. It's time to come out into Libra. Yeah, and in order to do that, Virgo has to do with work. It has to do with focus. It has to do with analyzing. It has to do with effort. So Pisces, Jupiter, Neptune, Mercury is about dreaming, a new dream, fantasizing, imagining, creating images and songs and dances about the new earth and the new world. And then the moon comes around to Virgo and says, well, roll up your sleeves. Make it happen. It's not just going to come floating down the river. So Pisces is very passive, and Virgo is active, effort. So in some ways, the Sun, after a month in Pisces, is emerging into Aries. Pisces is this infinite potential out of which all desires emerge. Aries, so the Sun merging, coming out of infinite potential of Pisces into an individualized desire, want. I want to penetrate, I want to initiate, I want to start something new. It's fire, cardinal fire, Brahma, creative energy. So we're going to feel a shift in the energy this week from one of being more passive into one where we need to be active. Hopefully we like to be active and we enjoy creating. And we've got inspired dreams and visions that we want to manifest. Then it's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen. If not, the universe is going to kick us out of bed. It's going to wake us up. It's going to say, you know what? The world needs you. You need to change. The world is changing. You cannot just flow, 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 flow. You are here to individualize. You have a unique gift to offer the next 7 generations. Get out of bed. It's pretty trippy. Let's look at this, then Mars and Venus, coming into it's a third quarter square, 270 degrees square, okay, to the planet Uranus, over there in Taurus, for 7 years, okay, from 2018 to 2025. So Uranus is shaking things up. Uranus is the planet of the personal unconscious. And what do we do with our unconscious? Normally we project it. I'm not aware of my need to individualize. I'm not aware of my need to reinvent myself. I'm not aware of my need to innovate and constantly evolve into something unique, a unique expression of source. So, Uranus very often manifests as sudden, unpredictable events, sometimes causing trauma. It's the alarm clock going off. It's like waking us up. It's the thunderbolt striking. And it's moving through Taurus, which is banks, money, inflation, supply lines, food, clothing, shelter, sudden ups, sudden downs, cryptocurrencies, okay, everything going topsy-turvy. And it's going to continue on that way. This is what I want to say. And it becomes necessary for us to invent new ways. of keeping our money, spending our money, becoming self-sufficient, surviving, getting food, clothing, and shelter. And so now here we have Venus and Mars in square. Venus and Mars coming through Aquarius is the masculine and feminine. Jack and Jill, ran up the hill. Okay, and they're coming around, and Aquarius is about rebelling. Okay, it's about stepping into the future, envisioning, opening the third eye, and going, okay, whoa, I need to let go of the old, the conventional, the known, the familiar, the safe, the secure, and I need to venture out into outer space, into the twilight zone of my mind. Okay, I need to just open my third eye. And so when it comes into this third quarter square, the cycle of Venus-Uranus has to do with, what is Venus? It is my feminine ability to receive, to love myself unconditionally, to bring beauty, harmony, and peace into the world. Aquarius is community. Aquarius is collective consciousness, expanding out beyond community through technology and the World Wide Web to global community, creating global community. With what? Venus is love, Aphrodite, connection. So really devoting myself personally to creating connection with a greater community of like-minded souls that is ready to progressively liberate ourselves from old forms and old structures of support. The old patriarchy, the old paradigm, the old economy, the old healthcare systems, the old governments, the old. It's like, I need to go forward. Yeah? Speaking of going forward, it's with Mars. And so Mars is also coming around. And sometimes this, the third quarter square has to do with a crisis of sudden unpredictable events that kick us out of bed, the hairdryer in the bathtub, we get electrocuted, we need to jump out of the bathtub. We either need to be a force of change or be forced to change. But this is about evolution. This is about moving forward in radical new ways. So we got to come out of the dreamland. And like I say, Jupiter, Neptune is Wetiko. Okay, this is the collective unconscious, which is propaganda and all the stuff that is, just like stirring around beneath the level of awareness, psychosis and neurosis and hospitals and institutions and, autoimmune disorders and just like all kinds of like I said, I think last week, the twilight zone. We've entered the twilight zone. We're in the twilight zone a little bit more, okay, like until Jupiter moves into Aries. We're going to get the sun in Aries now, so this is like a personal shift inwardly. Each one of us individually needs to step up into the night. And what is the night in the tarot? Whether it's the Knight of Pentacles or Cups or Wands or, the Knight has to do it. First of all, it serves the king and the queen. It always brings action. It always brings revelation. This will be a week of tremendous revelation. The truth shall be revealed and the truth shall set you free. And the truth may be unsettling. The truth may be shocking. Okay? But it's best to start with a hard, solid rock foundation. Yeah? Of truth to go forward. So anyway, yes, this night, and it has to do with action. The night is always going somewhere, always doing something. They're all in movement. So, this is a time to set new projects in motion. And this is a time to, begin, okay, new adventures of service. Let's look at this moon coming around through Virgo, this full moon now. She's been, waxing for 2 weeks. So there's a certain culmination. And what bothers me, what really blows my mind is the Sabian symbol for this degree. And I think if you have been listening to much of the news about what is going on in the world, it's going to blow your mind. A bald-headed man who has seized power. The sheer power of personality in times that call for decision. Whether at the religious or at the socio-political and cultural level, there comes a time when obsolete patterns of order and cultural refinement have to be radically and relentlessly challenged. Catabolic personages emerge to seize power and dictate decisions that alter the structures of society or within an individual life. An intense urge for cathartic changes mobilizes the will, and traumatic decisions are made. At such times, the issue has to be met, and ruthless as the power may appear, it must be accepted. At this stage, we face the unpostponable necessity for decision and transformation. Existence is motion. No static formation, however beautiful and inspiring, can remain long unchallenged. Everything bows to the power of the will. Divine, executively human, or satanic. We just want to take a little breath after that Sabian symbol of this full moon. I can't help think of old KS, Klaus Schwab. If you haven't heard of him, I don't know where you've been, but you need to watch the video I'm going to put below by J.P. Sears. Is Klaus Schwab the most dangerous man alive or on Earth? He's the founder of the World Economic Forum. He's the author of The Fourth Industrial Revolution and the Great Reset. And he has started a school of grooming future world leaders like Trudeau, Macron, and even Putin. And he's bald. And he has got an old German accent like he studied under Hitler. Amazing how anybody listens to this guy for more than 2 minutes and is not aware of what is driving him. Yeah. So I don't want to get, too far into these great global world affairs. I've gone on and on and on. I mean, I will talk a little bit because people ask in the comments, somebody said there's been no mention of the war. Okay. What I've got is, and I want to just share, is propaganda. It's propaganda, and we will not know. Just get used to not knowing right now during these. There are covert operations
left and right all over the place. And it's not being announced. And, you can jump on this and that and the other, okay? Some say Putin is after, the biological laboratories that, the U.S. set up over there, okay, in the Ukraine. Other people, are just saying, well, it's quite obvious, since 1997, 19 nations have joined NATO, getting closer and closer and closer to the borders of Russia. The Ukraine wanting to join NATO brings NATO and all of the Western forces directly to the borders of Russia. So some argue, this is da-da-da-da-da. Others say, oh my God, Putin's a monster, a gorilla. He's got no business, doing this, that, and the other thing, invading other countries. Who does he think he is? And, and he's aligned with China, and these communists are all going to da-da-da. Let's just really understand it. In some ways it matters, and in some ways it doesn't, because these are forces beyond our control. This is the south node of the moon moving through Scorpio from January 18th until July of 2023. And the dragon's tail has to do with the dark energies or devolution. And it's in the secrets and the hidden agreements and the covert actions of forces beyond our control that we need to, and in some ways are victims or at the mercy of these forces beyond our control. And that's why today's mantra gives us the choice to be a victim or a knight. We can stay in Pisces, the sign of martyrs and victims. We can stay in Scorpio, at the mercy of, again, forces beyond our control. Death, nations, nature, whatever it is. Or we move like the sun into Aries and we become the knight. We move to the dragon's head in Taurus and we become self-sufficient. And we get grounded in unconditional self-love that is able to receive the goodness and the beauty and the love and the joy in life. We stay passive, right, in that Pisces, or we move into Virgo, into effort and the will force. Because regardless of the reasons for this war, the effects are quite clear. Okay? And whether Putin is in cahoots with Klaus Schwab, I've seen pictures of them together shaking hands. Okay? And, and this is all part of a master plot to devalue the dollar, to make inflation, to ruin supply chains, to, destroy economies as part of a great reset. Or whether he is lining up with China to bring down the United States and devalue the dollar and, cause all kinds of catastrophes. The fact remains, the reality remains that our world is changing, our currency is changing, and we need to get our act together. I've been saying this for years, man. Get out of the city. Get away from the 5G towers. Get away from the transhumanism. Get back to nature. Start growing your food. Get in permaculture communities. Look at your health. I just listened to Zach Bush. I can put another link to, his talk, talking about the glyphosate and the extinction events that are coming, and how, we are destroying the soil, the water, the rain, the crops. I mean, what do we need before we seek alternative sources of food, sources of energy, sources of love, sources of joy, sources, it's like, and this is what Venus and Mars and Saturn, and they're all going to square the moon's nodes. Saturn already is, but this is building I think it's April 22nd, we have a Mars-Saturn conjunction exactly square the moon's nodes at 22 degrees, Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio. If you've got planets there, you know what I'm talking about. So, we're really getting sign after sign, revelation after revelation. Get it together, move on, co-create alternative lifestyles. I listed that link for the parallel societies necessary and needed to be like seed pods, yeah, that are going to birth the age of Aquarius. But we got to go through the dark. We maybe need to go underground, like the seed goes underground and then it opens up and sprouts later. This may not necessarily be so much springtime as, the great winter. And that's spring coming in 2025, 2026, 2027. I talk about that in my other video that's available. But anyway, so for this week, the mantra remains. The mantra is, there's two ways to go, and I have to choose. Be a victim or a knight. I need to engage and focus my will in order to get it right. Ow! Yeah, baby. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I love it, man. It's like absolutely appropriate for the full moon, the sun coming out of Pisces into Aries, Venus and Mars squaring Uranus in Aquarius, North Node in Taurus. I mean, this mantra sums it all up. We've got choices, people. You've got choices. I've got choices. And we need to make these choices, or they will be made for us by bald-headed old men. It's like, oh God. Yeah. So choose. You cannot make a wrong choice. Just choose. And move. Activate. Be the knight. Action. Going forward. Yeah, baby. There are two ways to go, and I have to choose to be a victim or a knight. I need to engage and focus my will in order to get it right. May you get it right tonight. The song. The song for this week. What was it? Oh, man, it was by The Doors. It was something, I guess, maybe. Look in the notes below. I will remember the song and stick a link for it in the notes below the YouTube video. And look forward to seeing you. I thank those people that contacted me about hosting workshops in Europe. I have enough to make it over there, and maybe I'll see you on the other side of the pond this summer. Namaste. Aloha. So much will.